Good evening, Canada. From our platform of Voice of Canada, we are back with a brand new show with our new guest, Kalim A Siddiqui, who has got such a wide bio that it was very difficult for us even to derive a questionnaire for him. And we are really lucky to have a guest like him. Your host, Asphandiar Wadiwalla, my co-host, Cindy Young. We say welcome all of you because today's episode would be very, very interesting for the oil and gas sector because he has held a very, very important post back home and various international assignments also. He has successfully completed, and we are lucky that now he is based here in Canada. Welcome to our show, Voice of Canada, Mr. Siddiqui. Just tell us what you currently do, and how you are engaged here in Canada.
Okay. First of all, I'd like to say thank you very much for inviting me here and giving me this opportunity to speak on the subject. And secondly, that yes, I am now residing for 8-9 years now, full time in Canada.
9 years.
Yeah.
Wow. And you are in a very luxurious building. Believe me, I was on a verge of buying a condo there. Yeah, I recall when I read your address.
It's a very good building, yes. Yes. And very well maintained, actually.
That's important, actually.
So, yeah, unfortunately, after moving here full time, because previously I was engaged with the American oil company and they did Caltex, and they were not operating in this part of the world, so
North
I had to
America.
do a lot of foreign assignments. Twice I was in USA, I was in Australia, I was in Vietnam.
A lot of moving around.
I was in Pakistan, So I did all those assignments, very interesting ones, and I learned a lot and I contributed a lot.
Absolutely.
Both.
Definitely.
So, yeah. But after coming back here, I had a challenge what to do here now. Once I finished my professional career with them and retired, and settling in full time, I mean. So, because my family was already here and I was majority of the time shuttling between
various countries
from
and
various
Canada.
countries, exactly.
Right.
So, I decided that I should do some consultancy work.
Very good.
I formed a company and I started doing the consultancy work. And on the same time, I think I was not making enough, to survive on that. So I decided that the best thing will be to look for some other opportunities. And then I have come up with some multiplex residential buildings, so we did some investment in that one. And we have 2 buildings and about 44 apartments.
Lovely.
So
And that you manage the whole building?
I don't personally, but we have the property management.
Property managers,
they do that. I overlook it.
Right.
I overlook it.
You invested in the right venue, I would say, because properties in Canada is really, that's the only thing which appreciates.
Exactly.
Nothing appreciates. If you even buy a Porsche car of $150,000, immediately 30,000 will be
gone. Depreciated. So
go ahead.
So that's what I'm currently engaged in.
Nice.
And
keeping you busy.
Keeping me busy.
And happy.
And
happy because life in Canada is very, very costly.
Yes.
And day by day, there are various issues and all. And if you don't have sufficient income here in Canada, it's very hard to survive.
Absolutely.
Oh, very hard.
Absolutely.
You know that very well.
Yeah, no, for sure. Mr. Siddiqui, it's such a pleasure meeting you and a pleasure having you here on Voice of Canada. If you mind just telling us and our viewers just your areas of expertise.
That is a very long list. Please cover one by one. We would love to hear about that, and even our viewers would love to.
Okay. That's a good question, and it will be self-praising, but I am going to do it.
It's not self-praising. It's you're giving the information to the Canadian viewers and the viewers of the world.
Absolutely.
And I think I have a good capability of corporate leadership. So I can say very conveniently that I'm a corporate leader.
Corporate leader.
You have proved that.
I'm quite good in doing strategic planning. And in a team building,
right,
and doing a critical review of an organization or a business or a process to see that how this can be made more efficient, more revenue generating, and more profit making. so that the shareholders are happy.
Right.
So that's the
One
thing.
of your
That's
expertise.
a hard job to do. You get a lot of people that you have to kind of go around, right?
Yeah. And so I have been focusing lately when I was in my professional career to do the quality management systems,
right.
Organize the things, make the work as much as possible paperless.
Yes.
So that you are more efficient, less chances of human errors, and you enhance your productivity.
Absolutely.
And once you enhance the productivity, it reduces the cost.
Yes.
And so you become profitable.
Definitely. Profitability automatically comes.
Yeah. So I think these qualities I have applied, and plus minus, many others, in many organizations. And every time it has worked. Every time it has worked. So yeah, I think that's what I am. That if you can categorize it into a broad categories, that yes, management and sales and marketing, and sales and marketing as a leader,
and a leader within those. Yes.
Yeah. So yes.
You must have met a lot of roadblocks doing that.
I definitely did. Yes, a lot of hurdles, lot of unhappy people.
Yeah.
Because when you go through this transformation process,
it's hard. It's hard. Very challenging.
At times, I myself was not very happy.
Yes, for
but
sure.
But when I looked at it from the shareholders' perspective, from the organization perspective, then you have to keep that bigger picture. I have to have that bigger picture, and I got to go through that.
Unfortunately, not everybody's going to be happy with that bigger picture.
No. Because they look into, they have a normally narrow vision. They look at what is going to happen with them.
And they won't even understand why you made decisions.
Why you are making those changes, why you are going through that process.
Absolutely.
So,
must be challenging at times.
Doing a re-engineering process is a difficult one and challenging one.
Yes, especially in that field.
Especially in that field.
Because you've also got politics.
Absolutely.
And you've got a whole lot of things that are all mixed in there.
Yes.
Mr. Siddiqui, inform our viewers of Voice of Canada. In 2001 and 2, you were the general manager of PSO. How it started and what all changes you brought to that. And later you were even PSO's CEO late in the later years.
Yes.
So it's a real challenging post, and we are really honored. And Pakistan was really honored to have you. You are an asset.
With my previous background of Caltex, when I joined PSO. Yes, I started off as a general manager there for the lubricants and chemical business.
Yeah. So tell us in detail.
It was in shambles.
Wow.
I can say very
being a state enterprise.
It was in shambles.
That's unfortunate.
They had so many lubricant blending plants all over the country, small production, not economical.
No proper sales.
And no proper sales, no proper strategy, they did not have any.
You had to streamline from
tactical
A to Z.
plan. Exactly. So I had to really totally revisit the whole thing, And what I did, I just pick up 3-4 major things which we did. First of all, we said that there are no reason that we have so many blending plants. If we can centralize it into one, there will be economy of scale, and it will be more efficient.
Cost saving also.
Cost saving
efficient,
as well.
yes.
So that's what we
did. That's always a goal, right?
Yeah.
Cut those costs,
And once we consolidated all the lubricant requirement and production into one location, then the other challenge I have taken up was modernize this facility. So that it's all fully automatic,
Right.
All the blending is done
according to new technologies.
According to the new technology at that time. And that's what I have gone through. And I have really technologically advanced blending plant. And I can say that at that time, that was one of the most advanced blending plant in the area, in the region rather.
Wow.
And so it was all fully automatic, all computerized blending, all the components will come.
You
just say to the computer, this is the product you want, this is the quantity you want. And from each and every tank and additives, it will come, it will go, and then they will start the process and make the product.
Finished product would be ready.
And then of course, once it is tested and cleared and all that, then you have to do the packaging. So for that, we needed a modern packaging plant as well.
Wow.
So what I did, even the can manufacturing, the plastic cans in which you fill, we put up a plant there, so that we can manufacture our own own
in-house.
can manufacturing, then own production, and then own packaging. And it was I think very well
Very
received by
successful.
our customers, and
Yeah.
it was very
And the
successful.
That's a
resources
huge feat.
and being a
It's a
state
huge field.
enterprise, resources were there.
Yeah.
The
That
resources
was the
were there,
advantage.
although it was quite difficult and challenging to convince the board and all that at that time. But I was able, because the project was so important for the survival and taking the company into the future.
Into the to that
So,
next level.
Next level.
Yeah.
So yes, we did that. And the other challenge I had, just briefly on this general manager portfolio, that the product line they have at that time was mainly Castrol product line. They had a license with them. And I knew from the Castrol side that the relationship is not going very well.
Very well.
Yeah.
Wow.
So anytime it is going to break out.
Yeah.
So I said the best thing we can do is to have our own product
A
line,
backup plan.
designed a
Right.
backup plan, so that when that happens, our shelves are not
Yeah,
empty.
That's right.
And we have the merchandise, and we can then go ahead. And that's
Exactly.
exactly what
That
happened.
happened.
So we came up with all the automotive product line and industrial product line, and all new packages, new logos, and everything, which goes with that.
Oh my goodness.
So I did all that.
Really
and
worked
How
hard.
long did that take to do to revamp that whole thing?
it took us quite a while, It took us quite
Like
a while.
years or months?
Actually, the plant construction went on for 2 to 3 years.
2 to 3 years.
Yeah, but initial planning and all that was done during that period, and the
Right.
contract was awarded and everything, And it was the execution phase which was
That's just getting it all
later
executed
happened,
working out all the bugs.
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
all that fun stuff. Exactly.
And what happened that immediately after that, I don't know if it is your next question, followed by this job, I was given the responsibility of 80% of PSO, which was marketing operations. Other than HR, purchasing, and that, everything was under
you.
me.
Yes.
So it means sales, marketing, manufacturing,
so you are basically a CEO
supply chain,
everything.
deputy
of a state
CEO.
enterprise.
Yeah.
At that time, I was deputy,
Yeah.
and then I became the chief. Yeah.
Chief, yeah.
Right.
So that was again very challenging, because, as I said, it was a public enterprise, and things were not all that great, from governance point of view, from ethical point of view,
Definitely.
and from the business point of view, that how you are conducting a business,
Right.
and how you are looking after your customer. So the customer service was extremely important. And then naturally what I did, I created a lot of new alliances. And for the products, how to reduce the cost, we started doing a lot of things locally. Like in a multi-grade oil, when you produce, then you do the polymers, you use polymer in it, so that there is enough viscosity.
And even the life increases by that.
Yes.
The life of the oil lubricant.
It increases. Yeah. So that I started, instead of bringing the finished product, I brought the raw material polymer and then solubilize it locally.
That's
and all
how
that.
the people were saying you can use the oil for 50,000 kilometers,
Absolutely.
100,000 kilometers.
Right.
That was the time.
And the extreme weathers, because sometimes it's summer, sometimes it's really
depending
cold.
on
And
how cold it is.
here you can appreciate what I'm saying, because
Totally, because we have
both
those
the
extreme
ends,
weathers.
both the ends.
And we enjoy all
So you
four
need
seasons.
an oil which can be suitable for both the
For both
temperature
the
levels.
season
temperatures.
So there you use the multi-grade oils and all that.
Yeah.
So we did that. We automated all of our terminals, so that the order is placed online. Metering system all automated, so it will just fill the truck, 10 truck, and truck goes out, So these kind of things, it reduced a lot of employment, but it was very,
you created
very
end result
efficient.
was good.
End result was good. And we beated our multinational companies in that market, who were really strong. And we just came out, and we introduced a lot of new ideas. Like in that market at that time, plastic card was not used.
Right.
So we brought in plastic card. We brought in a customer card, so you come up with that card, you just and fill your tank and just go,
and all that stuff.
And the billing
at
will
the
done.
PSO stations.
Yeah, at the PSO stations. So that kind of thing, we have done. And all the stations we modernized. Gas stations, you call it
with
here.
the more pump, better pumping.
Yeah.
machines and
very
everything.
modern, new dispensers, nice
And a nice
driveways,
shopping
nice
area and
canopies,
everything.
well-lit canopies,
Oh,
Because
looks so modern. and, yeah.
convenience stores. What you see
Definitely.
everywhere
The
in
gas
developed
stations play important role in the
Yeah.
life of general
Yeah.
citizens.
Yeah, so
Right.
that we have gone through that, and very rapidly we build up a modern stations.
Style.
And then nobody will go to everybody wanted
go
to
to
Of
the
come on
course,
these
PSO.
yes,
stations,
that's it.
So that's how we really,
Yeah.
there was a time that it was almost 70% market share we had.
Wow.
In
wow.
developed countries, they
Major.
won't allow
No,
you
they
to
won't
major
even
share.
allow you to do that.
With the foreign collaboration.
Yeah. So, but
Yeah.
anyhow, that's what we managed, although it was
Wow.
a public sector organization, but the way we were operating, the way we were functioning, you will not say it is a public sector organization or government organization. It will just
Yeah.
like any private corporate entity.
Mr.
Yeah.
Siddiqui, we'll be taking a short break and we'll be back soon. Welcome back after a short break in our weekly talk show, Voice of Canada. Your host, Asphandiar Wadiwalla, my charming co-host, Cindy Young, and we have a very, very learned, dynamic guest speaker, Mr. Siddiqui,
Thank
who
you.
has got so many feathers in his cap here. It's hard to explain to our viewers, but when they will hear his talk and the answers he's giving, everyone will be delighted to hear, especially in the oil and gas sector. Okay, what improvements he did and in how many countries he has served. Very well. So welcome back after a short break. Mr. Siddiqui, inform our viewers, you even spent 1 decade with Caltex, like 2000 and...
Actually, 2 decades.
Okay, 1981 to 2001.
So 20 years, 20 plus
20
years.
years. So that's a very long
That's
period of a
Yes.
lifespan.
Yes, I did a lot of foreign assignments while I was with Caltex. Twice I came to USA, I was based in Dallas, and also did a project with Chevron. So I was in
Chevron
San
too.
Francisco.
Wow.
So about 4 years I spent there, and I was also in Australia for over 2 years. Roughly 2 years I was in Vietnam, So in other words, and Pakistan. In other words, I have done the assignments in developed as well as emerging, developing countries.
Yes.
Beautiful.
So both the countries' culture and business ethics and all that. So I really understood and worked in that atmosphere, So that was very interesting and learning as well.
Tell us briefly about your Chevron assignment too.
Chevron assignment was between 95, 96, and I was operating from Chevron San Francisco. I was based in San Francisco. They had their head office at the Market Street. In 95, Chevron has taken up a project 15 years ahead.
Wow.
The
Oh,
project
my
name
goodness.
was Finished Oil 2010 in 95.
Wow.
What they wanted to do is to review the worldwide analysis of the lubricants business. They wanted to see where we stand. Are we a global player or not?
Yeah.
If not, what needs to be done?
Done.
And where we are and what strategies should be adopted so that we can become a global player and a important player in this field. So that was very interesting. I was, of course, just a member of that study team, and they brought in people from all the different Europe and Africa and Asia and
From various countries.
North America, from their different. And Caltex was actually a subsidiary of Chevron and Texaco.
Okay, Texaco.
And Texaco.
Because Caltex was
Yeah.
actually visible in Pakistan.
Yes.
Whereas Chevron
in
and
Asia, Africa, and
they use
Australia,
brand as Caltex.
Yes,
Right.
there. Not in North America. So that's why many people don't know about Caltex, So yeah, so that's what happened in this exercise. Actually, we did a lot of travel. We went to different market and we talked to them and collected a lot of data and processed the data, and we came up. Of course, I cannot discuss all these strategies,
No,
but
for
I'm
sure.
just talking in generic terms, in generic terms. So we come up with a lot of strategies, and there was a steering committee headed by the chairman of the Chevron Corporation.
Wow.
We used to go and present the our work, and the strategies and all that. And the good part is that at the end of the day, all the strategies that was recommended, they accepted it, and it considered everything, that who are the major competitors, which areas Chevron is not
Not
strong,
strong.
whom you should buy out so that you can become a major player and a
course.
strong player.
Because the main competitor was SO also in the
ESSO
field.
and Texaco.
Texaco, yeah.
And so we came up with a strategy, and what we have seen later on, as a result of that, that many of the companies they bought out as was recommended in that
Wow,
study,
wow.
like
Wow.
Very
Texaco
nice.
and
Right.
like Arco, and there were a
Arco,
few
uh-huh.
other companies in Europe and other things, and that's what happened. So that was very interesting, and this is where I learned how to do the strategic planning,
Planning.
and
Right.
how to come up with, and how to streamline the processes, how to come up with that,
Mr. Siddiqui, inform us and our viewers of Voice of Canada, was Caltex nationalized and turned into PSO?
No, Caltex
Then
was
how it was PSO was formed?
Caltex was never nationalized.
Because it was a
Caltex,
foreign entity.
this was a foreign entity, and whenever they did nationalization, they never
Touch
touch the foreign company unless they themselves want to
merge.
give
Right,
up and
and
leave.
merge it
Then
in.
it's a different thing.
Yeah.
Right.
And so this is what happened. Caltex was there, and until recently, Caltex was there. They just left the country.
Achha, they left
Yeah.
now.
They
for
left.
good?
Yeah, they left.
Why?
Lubricant business is still there, but not the fuel business. So all the
Fuel
petrol
business.
pumps and all the
They have
terminals and
sold out.
everything, they have
They're
sold out.
disposed of.
Various reasons, political instability,
Instability,
Yeah.
and
various
difficulties in doing
Yeah.
business and things
Mm.
like that. So naturally they are not there. And unfortunately, very recently, the Shell has also announced they are leaving
Okay,
Pakistan.
they are leaving Pakistan. So
Oh,
who will be
wow.
there? Only SO.
Only Total.
Total.
ESSO is not
Ah.
there anymore. ESSO was
SO is
merged in
gone.
PSO.
Yeah.
ESSO was
They're all
merged in.
leaving.
They themselves said, "You take us."
SO,
We
I
don't know.
remember, had
Huh.
gone since the time we were back in Pakistan.
Yes.
Mm.
So yeah, ESSO was merged right at the upfront, in 1976 when
Right.
the PSO was formed, and Caltex continued to operate until recently, few years back, 5 years back they left, and now Shell is about to leave. So there will be only Total left, who is in joint venture with Parco, So let's see how long they stay there.
Do the oil and gas companies, do they share some of their strategies and their new things with each other, or is it all competition?
It's all competition.
All competition.
And very lately, government has come up with a policy which I'm not sure how good it will be in future for them. They have about 35, 36 oil companies now in the country.
Oh,
that
wow.
big, that
And
many.
my God, 17 to 18 are active,
And the market is
But-
there
No,
because it's
not-
a third
not-
world country.
It's a third world country, although it's
Yeah.
a big market. It's a big market. But again, so many companies never survive,
Yes.
So they are
Yeah.
going to
Hard
be
to
buy out
survive.
by
They
different
just
players.
they get bought out. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
just government way, so it's just their policy.
Oh, very good. So, Mr. Siddiqui, from your bio, we also read that in the early 1975 to around 1980, you were serving in the UK. Which companies were you associated during that period in the UK?
Actually, I worked for 4 companies, although it was 45, 48 years back, that's what
That's
we
a
are
lot
talking.
of years back.
That's a lot of years back. At that time I was there, I was doing my chemical engineering.
Wow.
And during
You
that,
did in UK.
yes.
Very good.
So at that time, I was going for my hands-on training to different companies, and I went to 4 companies. One was APV company Crawley.
Mhm.
APV company was a company, very interesting project. They were doing a project in UK that how to use a grass for human consumption.
Oh, really?
And
Oh.
that project was especially for the soldiers, that when they are at the borders, when they are
Borders.
fighting,
Right.
and they are not getting the
And they're not
supplies,
getting the
of the
they
supplies.
should have something to
Nutrients
eat so
eat.
that they
Right.
can survive. So that was very
That's
interesting.
very
Chemical
interesting.
engineering
Wow. Hearing
project.
for the first time.
Yes, very important
So was
chemical engineering project.
Were you successful?
Yes, we were successful. That process was designed, everything was done. And then I was involved with the project, on that small side project. We came up with different sizes, that how much that production project will cost, so that if anybody comes and says, oh, I want this size. Okay, that is approximately the cost.
Right.
So that
Makes
it's
sense.
easy to comprehend with the people, that how much it will cost if they buy
as well.
and compete.
Yes.
Yes. So that was interesting. Other was Burma Kestrel Refinery. I was working at Ellesmere Port. That was very good. And at that time, all my seniors there, they were, of course, old graduates, so they were not that strong in the IT side.
Oh, so yeah.
Computer was just being introduced at that time.
Barely.
And I came out from university, so I was fresh, I was updated. We had some programs and user guides for that, so that how they can change the heat exchangers in the surveys, how they can do the
computer programming stuff that was just coming out at that time.
Coming out, and I did that. So my superintendent of the process department there, he used to call me, "Hey, Kalim, you are a computer man."
Yes.
So that
you
had to know this much at that
helped me a lot.
You streamlined the product according to the modern times.
Mm-hmm.
So, and also how to deal with the effluent, and I came up with a program to deal with the effluent, So that was interesting.
Okay, we have to move forward, Mr. Siddiqui, because the time is also running out. So before the time runs out, I would like to ask you something about the oil industry of Canada.
Yes.
As you know, our province of Alberta has got a lot of crude, and whatever we take out crude is from Alberta. And we refine at few refineries which we have got. One is in Ontario, which is in Sarnia.
Okay, let me...
So let me complete my question. But you, according to our research, the Sarnia refinery just produces or utilizes for 33% only. What are the reasons? Because these questions I have asked several MPPs who came in my show, and they could not give any satisfactory answer. That when we have got the facility, why can't we utilize the on 3-shift basis, 100% capacity, and at least serve the province of Ontario, which can be easily met with? But nobody has got answers, even from the government side, or they are tight-lipped.
I will try to give answer. Hopefully that will satisfy. Let me just give you a little background. As far as Canada is concerned, they have sand oils, and that is about 80% of Canada oil there. And then Saskatchewan and Brunswick, they have some small
reserves.
So these are the reserves, Other than that, we have 18 refineries in Canada.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
That
and
many
which
people
provinces?
Don't know.
That's information to us.
Let me.
I had no idea.
So out of 18, 5 in Ontario.
Ontario. 5 in Ontario.
5 in Alberta.
Wow.
2 in Saskatchewan. And then likewise 2 in, I think, in British Columbia.
Okay.
And 2 in, I think, 1 each in
New
Brunswick and Newfoundland. So this is how it comprises, 18.
But are they operating?
In Sarnia, there are 3 refineries around it, not 1.
Oh, wow.
There are 3 refineries.
Wow.
One is operated by Shell. Other is operated by Imperial Oil.
The
third is operated by
Sunoco.
All
American interest.
Sarnia borders America.
Yeah.
So a lot of finished product goes to American markets. Okay. And I'm assuming you are referring the refinery, Sarnia refinery, which was not in production over last 7-8 months and lower production because one of their equipment was damaged. In last December. So it was 3 to 4 months under repair and management and all that. So that's why their production level really went down.
Okay, that explains it.
I believe, I'm not updated, but I believe by end of March or early April, they are already back in full production. That was the plan. That was the plan. Though our refineries are producing. Actually, we have a surplus product in Canada.
And we are refining Canadian crude?
Majority.
Or we import also?
Majority of the crude is local. Especially in Ontario, all the refineries are using the oil sand local. But in eastern refineries, we get the Atlantic crude from there because that is more economical. Transportation.
And refining also is easier.
Transporting the crude oil to that refinery location is a challenge.
It's cheaper than them producing it themselves.
Yes, absolutely. So that's why some of the crude oil we are importing, it is purely because of economic reason.
Yes. Yeah.
So, but otherwise, majority of the crude oil is used locally, and we send all this. I think these refineries produce approximately 2 million barrels per day.
Oh, wow.
18
my
refineries.
goodness.
And out of that, about 1.9 million is the consumption of Canada. So rest, we just send it across the border, and all of that goes through the across the border, nowhere
It's sold
else. Yeah, sold
to USA.
Sold
to
it.
USA. Yeah.
Because we surplus.
But USA also has got its refineries
Yes,
in Texas,
yes,
especially.
yes.
So
And they
many.
actually need it from us?
They do.
They buy from
Especially
us?
border areas,
Ah.
coming from the Texas refinery is costly than going from Sanya.
Oh, so
To
yeah, they're
Sanya.
doing it for economics
Again,
too.
economic
makes
is
sense.
seen.
It all economic reason,
Yeah.
That's why sometimes you import,
Yeah.
sometimes you export
Export
Right,
also.
that's
for
right.
economic
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah.
It's not a
Makes sense.
technical reason.
Mr. Siddiqui,
Yeah.
tell us also that they say that the Canadian sand crude is little difficult to refine as compared to Middle Eastern crude.
That is true. Its process
It's longer?
is longer, it's costly.
Yeah.
Our cost is much higher than what the cost in Asian or Middle East countries production of crude oil cost is.
They don't have sand in it.
They don't have sand in it.
Our
They don't
crude
have
has got a lot of
has a
sand.
So you have to extract it from there.
the sand.
So it's a difficult process, costly process,
Yeah.
time consuming process.
Right.
So that's why many of a time, sometimes even our refineries bring the Middle East crude.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
buy from Middle
Yeah,
East.
then they
They
bring,
bring the
We
Middle
get
East
the
crude,
Middle East
they
crude.
bring the Atlantic crude, and they bring the even crude sometimes from USA. It all depends on the timing and
Even
the cost.
Iraq and Saudi Arabia also we buy the crude, crude oil.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, yeah.
So it's a quite intriguing
it's
story.
It's
a huge process, and it is. It's a lot of the economics.
It's a lot
around-
of economics.
Yeah.
Many people say that why we are not building refineries, and they are not huge refineries. The refineries we have, the largest refinery we have in the eastern side, I think Newfoundland. It's about 300 to 320,000 barrels per day. That's the biggest.
That will be
Yeah.
bigger than Karachi refinery.
Yes.
Bigger.
Yes. Much
Bigger.
bigger. Karachi refinery is more like Sanya refinery, 70,000,
okay. Pakistan
80,000
refinery,
barrels.
they call it,
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, these refineries are very old refineries, 60 years, 70 years, 80 years before they designed it and erected it. So I think now the modern technology requires that you have a high throughput, more throughput refinery, then it becomes economical.
Right.
So a lot of the heavy products they are producing in this country, they have to be cracked and converted into gasoline light fractions, like petrol and diesel and all that, so that they can use it in jet fuel.
And during
kerosene.
winter, we even produce the winter gas.
Yes, fuel oil.
Fuel oil. So
Yeah,
that oil is changed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because the snow in minus 35, minus 40 degrees,
You have to
it should not freeze.
flow properties should be so that it can flow
It can survive
even
30,
in a very
30
low
to 40
temperature.
temperature
right.
also.
Yes.
So as soon
Gotta
as
get
the
the
winter is
viscosity
about
just
to
right.
start,
Yeah.
we get the winter gas.
Yes, that's right.
So that is
Absolutely.
also one of the disadvantage for Canada.
Yep.
So who produces our refineries?
Our
or
refineries
even,
produce.
even the US refineries.
No, our refineries are producing
for winter production.
fuel oil as well, furnace oil as well, so heavy oil as well, bituminous oil as well, and then we have a lot of chemical plants attached with the refineries, so that these chemicals, they are petroleum based chemicals, they are used in cosmetics and textiles and industries,
various
like
other byproducts.
All these industries run on those chemicals.
So Mr. Siddiqui, tell us, is Canada market that big for the consumption? Because our population is just now we have touched to 40 million recently, the recent survey. So do you think we may be having about 80 million vehicles? Definitely. Because each household has got average 2 vehicles.
Yes.
So 85 million vehicles are there.
Yes, that is one
rough calculation.
That is one part. And as I mentioned earlier, that our Canadian refineries, they produce enough to meet this requirement. And actually, at this moment in time, they are surplus. So exported to. But what is happening, although the vehicles are increasing, but there are a lot of electric vehicles now.
Yes, there are.
They
I'm
don't
seeing more and
consume
more on the
fuel.
road now.
They don't consume fuel.
I
Yes.
wanted to ask the question on coming over to electric.
So,
the world is
Yeah.
so
converting.
although they are increasing, but
I've
good,
seen more and
good
more.
number are electric vehicles.
Yeah.
And probably next 10 years, you will see 80,
All
90%
electric.
are electric.
2035,
So,
they say we will be having more than 50-60%
yeah, that's what.
EVs.
Yes, yes.
So what will happen of
Yeah.
oil and the refineries then?
Yeah, at that
You-
point.
what you foresee? Okay, the Middle East will be in trouble.
I think they will be, but
Yeah.
the other side is that lot of the developing countries and where the population is all Asia and Africa
Right.
and all that. They will
They
continue
will
to use
continue
for
with the
some
gas
time.
only
They
for
will-
some
longer
yeah.
time.
They're
Longer
going to be
much
behind
longer
us.
time.
I
Longer
bet.
time.
Because the electric vehicles are not
Yes.
cheap.
They are
The
not.
technology
No.
They are
is
not.
expensive.
I'm not even sure how we're
and
going to
still
afford them.
now,
So,
even
yeah.
for a middle class
So,
family to
Yes.
buy a EV
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
difficult.
It will be difficult. Yeah.
Yes.
So yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you want me to do number 12?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do one.
So we're going to ask you a little bit about your opinion about the COVID-19 and the effects that it had on the global economy and then the effects that it had here in Canada. We're seeing higher gas prices. The interest rates have gone up.
Very high.
Food prices. Families, just general families are really, really struggling.
hard time.
And it's kind of like, at what point are we going to see that there's some relief for our Canadian families and probably all those around the world
How
as
to
well?
manage,
That's,
because Canada
Yeah.
is a highly taxed country.
Yeah.
Here people pay honestly whatever they earn, they pay the taxes.
Yes.
Right.
So it's becoming very, very hard for a middle class family to put the food on the table.
Yeah.
Yes.
And pay their mortgages.
And it's
So
just
what
getting
is-
worse, getting
What
further and
is your
further in debt.
analysis?
Okay. Let me just say that because of this pandemic, for 2 years or so, the whole world has really
It has changed.
Suffered.
changed, and
Yes.
suffered heavily. Supply chain was very badly affected.
Very badly.
And
yeah.
all the cost and all that, I think it's a worldwide phenomenon, not only in Canada.
Labor shortages
It's
are
everywhere.
there.
The inflation part
Inflation.
is not only Canada, it's a worldwide.
Worldwide,
The entire
yeah.
world is facing
Mm.
this problem,
Yeah.
and they are struggling how to manage it, and that's why they're raising the interest rates. And as you know, very recently, USA has again raised the day before yesterday, I think.
And we have raised
And
for 10
they are
times in
now
2
at
years.
5.5%
Oh,
overnight
wow.
rate,
Wow.
USA.
Oh, USA,
And
wow.
we are only
5.
at 5%.
And UK is
And we're-
also
yeah.
at 5.
UK is also at 5. So there are chances that it might
to
further
build,
go
but-
up.
Right.
So that is one part. But what it has done, it has created a lot of problem to
And
those
confusions, yeah.
homeowners
Yes.
who are renewing their mortgages
Mortgages,
now.
Yes.
yeah. How will they pay?
If
That's where
it
it's really
becomes
hurting them.
double or 2.5 times, how can they survive?
How they can bring that
So
additional
it
income?
is extremely difficult time
Yeah.
for the homeowners as well as to even provide the food yourself,
Yeah, for
on
sure.
your children. So yes, it is difficult
You-
time, and I think government is trying. The inflation has come down. The
Come
last
down.
number is 2.8%. From 3.4 to
This month they were
2.8 is a
announced
good
2.8.
That's good. We're
But
going
at
the
the
right
same
direction.
time,
good drop.
Yeah.
The grocery prices are 9%.
Is still up 9%.
9%,
Yes,
which is
yes,
unbearable.
yes,
Yes.
it is unbearable.
It is.
But I would guess that things are getting in control, because if the inflation has come down to 2.8%, and probably in next 2 to 3 months, if it comes closer to 2%, that's what the target
I think
is.
that's the
Because
target.
That's
right?
what
They predict, the Bank of
Yeah.
Canada is predicting that not before 2025.
Exactly. It is not going
It's
to.
not going
No.
to happen. And how they are going to survive, there
It's
will be
a-
so
it's a-
many families who will be losing their homes.
Unfortunately,
you
this
won't
is
believe,
a tough time for
It is a
We
tough
were
time.
surveying with our food
Yeah.
banks. Canada
Yes.
is a developed nation
Yeah.
with lots of food banks as a relief to the people, and anybody can go and take that relief. It's
Yes.
not a charity, but it's a contribution.
It's a contribution.
So the food banks are also stating that it's becoming hard as soon as the third week
To
starts.
manage. Yes, to manage it.
Every month,
The
it's
food is
doubled.
gone.
The
Mm.
food is gone, and
Demand
the
is
supplies are
increased.
less.
They're just
Is
barely
increasing,
Yeah.
and the
lasting.
people who were never seen before, they have registered to get food from
Yeah.
third week of every month.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it is becoming sad.
It is
And
becoming-
few
it's a
families
sad
have
situation.
already decided to sell their homes because they can't pay their mortgages. But again,
Mhm.
when they go on a rental basis, they are not cheaper.
Rents have
No,
gone up
rents
like
are going
anything.
up
High,
too.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
Gone
because
high.
landlords, all their prices have gone up.
yeah,
So
yeah.
there
So
should
it
be
goes-
some
yeah.
stringent measures adopted by the government as far as the mortgages are concerned.
I think this is the area where government should have more
Step in,
focus,
yeah.
step
Yes.
in,
Yes.
because this housing is a big issue.
It's
It's become
huge
so
issue.
expensive,
Yeah.
and now this inflation and cost of.
And in spite of
Yeah.
that, they are bringing in refugees. And now
Yes.
you are seeing those refugees on the roads
Yes, because
And
of
what,
Toronto.
we have no plan in place.
I don't want to say
No, we
or
saw
put anybody
15
on a
days.
spot, but so many car thefts, so many
Car
issues,
thefts
you
have
know.
become a norm of the
No,
day.
So
Yeah.
what are we doing?
Especially
Yeah.
What are we
nothing,
doing?
because
so
we
I think
don't have the policing
these are
force.
the areas
Yeah.
They
government
should
should be
concentrate.
focusing.
Yeah.
They should
Yeah.
concentrate.
Yeah.
So,
No,
Mr.
for sure.
Siddiqui, our production is showing the signal 3 times. Now they have given us the red light that the air time is over for our today's show. We would love to have you in few months' time back in
Sure.
our show, as you're already based in Canada. So we'll invite you to complete your whole interview. I have your bio. We can frame another fresh questions. And in
Okay.
the meantime, whatever your new experiences are there, you can come and narrate them also. So with that note, we say thank you for coming today in our show, Voice of Canada. And we look forward to your peace, prosperity, and happiness.
Thank you so much.
Stay well. And with that note, we'll be signing off from our weekly talk show, Voice of Canada. Your host, Asphandiar Wadiwalla, and my co host, Cindy Young. We say good night, goodbye, adios. God bless Canada.